I, for one, welcome our alien overlords, written by new BS-hated NBM. Welcome to this presidential debate for the election of 864. I am your host, Tarkle, and I'd like to welcome the nominee of the Party of Honest Order and National Yearn, President Car N. Polite applause from the audience. Thank you, Tarkle. It is an honor to be here. And the nominee for the Coalition of Independent Arcadians, Senator Hugh Mann. Crowd going apeshit, which is naturally something arthropods do. President Karen, as the incumbent, we'll start with you. Why should the people of Arcadia entrust you with another 6 rotations? Tar, I believe my administration has shown with actions what my words never could. I stand for the traditional values of our people, family, honor, and, most of all, not giving away our planet to monkey people. Are you implying your opposing candidate is an illegal immigrant? I'm stating the obvious fact that he is a mammalian infiltrator. Do you have any evidence to support such serious accusations, Mr. President? He's dipping his algae chips in cheese right now. You want some? The senator asks, extending his snack to his adversary, his other claw under it to catch any drips. No, I don't want any of your mammalian sludge on my planet. Well, that's the problem with this administration. If elected, I will suspend the prosecution on lactose tolerant and end the cultural wars. I'll focus the time and effort of our government on what really matters to the crabs at home, improving the lives of our citizens. Just to be clear, Senator, the host intervenes, are you saying that you are a citizen of Arcadia? I swear I hatched in a puddle of our beloved land, or may my antennae fall from my head. What antenna, Senator? Oh, yeah, I forgot to put them on. See, says the incredulously aggravated president. He doesn't even look like one of us. It doesn't surprise me the president feels this way, the senator states, while strapping cheap plastic balls at the end of flimsy coils to his head. How could he not? He was sitting at his beachside mansion, resting in the knowledge his rich dad would pay for the draft fee should the need arise, while poor brave crabs were sacrificing claw, limb, and antennae in the reef wars. You were 5 when the reef wars ended, allegedly. And as a young, energetic leader of the community, I have faith in our people. I believe they can see beyond your personal attacks. They can see your cuts to the programs that support our citizens in most need, like our veterans. In order to provide tax cuts to the rich, I will do the opposite. My administration will tax our trillionaires and corporations to provide the services our people most need. By which you mean you'll tax the true Arcadian businesses into bankruptcy and bring down the trade barriers that guards us from the Terran takeover. You speak of our corporations as if they were a treasure to be guarded, Mr. President. I ask you, what have those in monopolies done for the common crab at home? Crabs like Loon R, who have their shell grinded at endless unpaid overtime for the profit of the fat crabs in their private islands. Crabs like Tarnara, who pays 300 Zorglons for a simple pack of plankton. I will do what it takes to bring affordable groceries to our crabs in Arcadia, even if I have to go to Terra and bring them myself. Yeah, human. Tarkle, the president calls. Tarkle, what? Care to control your audience? Do I have to? Yes, you're the host. All right, I guess. People, silence at the studio, so that we may proceed. Thank you. We now move on to the questions from our viewers. Barlack asked, last rotation was afflicted by a bad case of purple claw and went into a large debt to afford surgery. I'm struggling to make the repayments and, with my credit score way down, I could not fix my boat when it broke, and I now spend 4 hours a day in the public ferry going to and back from work. I have no money, I have no time with my family, and I don't even have my health. Because, according to the doctor, the stress is seriously harming my recovery. What, if anything, do the candidates plan to do for crabs like myself? Mr. President, care to answer? But yes, thank you, Tarkle. Let me start by saying to Mr. Barlack that I am sorry to hear of your predicament, and I will pray you experience a full recovery. But I must stand by our current model. I understand that you are not happy with how your situation developed, but thanks to my administration covering half the cost, you could afford surgery at all. This is the best way for the state to provide for our citizens without hindering the innovation and competition of the free market. That ensures we'll always be looking for new and better ways to make our citizens healthier. I know this doesn't seem fair right now, but I believe the 7 Sea Masters of the Dead have a plan for us all, and we must have faith in them. Senator Hugh Mann, care to reply? I most certainly do, Tarkall. Unlike the president, I don't think a crab must bankrupt himself nor let his children grow up without a father to keep his claw attached to his body. I believe the government can and should provide for our sick, not leave them to tentacles of the seven sea monsters. If elected, I will open the administration to all companies of the galaxy interested in providing 100% free healthcare to all the crabs on the planet and hire the lowest bidder. Meaning you'll sell the well-being of our citizens to the Terrans. All companies will have an equal opportunity to present their proposals, Arcadian or not. No Arcadian company can compete with the Terrans. They were treating all kinds of aliens and spreading their greasy paws through the stars when our ancestors were figuring out how to polish rocks. What you're proposing is openly selling all of our hospitals and laboratories to monkey people. You say I'm selling out, Mr. President. I say I'm giving back to the common crab. A hospital that takes away your money, your time, and doesn't even give you back your health is not your hospital. I will guarantee every crab has their claws attached to their body and their abdomen filled with a decent meal. So help me, the sea monsters. Human, tar, human. Fine. Please, folks, silence in the studio. Thanks. Mr. President, your rebuttal. Listen, people, it's pretty simple. Come election day, you can give the presidential strap to the crab that has spent his entire life serving at the halls of power of this planet. Or you can give it to a monkey in a cheap crab suit who promises to drive all of our major corporations into the ground and get you fat and cheese. Your choice. That came to be known as the Ballad Massacre of 864. End of story. Story number 2, Those with Courage to Explore, written by Captain Keys 123. Spaces. There's spaces? Nivek turned his gaze towards the aliens. They were short, ape-like monstrosities, a clan unit of a few dozen huddled together on the deck. Human spaces. Nivek tried to hold him back. Sir, they know not what they do. Everyone knows what's important in life, the hulking brute stalked towards them. You stupid, idiotic, selfish morons, he snarled. How can you be so cruel? How can you live with yourselves? Excuse me, the leader said. I am Captain James Robert of the ship Niven. Nivok snapped him, his massive and wide frame fitting for beings evolved in a heavy atmosphere. Robert tumbled to the deck. His family cried out. The guns trained on him kept them from running. Nivok looked around the cargo bay. He felt sick to his stomach. None of you have ever seen the sun, he stalled, nor seen the waves. You make me sick. Robert coughed and got to his feet. His mate helped him up. I saw the sea once, the Atlantic. I didn't care much for it. Never hit him again. He put his hands behind his back, looking smart in his silver uniform. His big mandibles stretched to either side of his wide brown face. You are cowards and weaklings, he gestured around. We retrieved you from your void-born ship. You attacked us. Nivek held up a finger. No, he turned and glared at Robert. We recovered escaped convicts. What? Nothing in life is more important than house and home, and nothing matters more than what is here right now. You're ruining your world, you void-born scum, he spat the word. Make me sick. I don't understand. Nivek snarled. You are cowardly, impatient, stupid, and cruel monsters. Scum like you only ever build rockets to escape. You son of a... One of the other apes tried to launch forward, but few restrained him. Nivek shook his head. All void-born are criminals. What do you mean? Life-bearing worlds are the only worlds that matter. Any who settle beyond them are criminals, and will be punished accordingly, Nivek said matter-of-factly. And as sinners against the edicts of life, you have no rights. But you're out here. This is ridiculous, Robert spat. Nivek knew primates didn't have the edicts of life, but this was ridiculous. The edicts of life are, the void is an anathema to life. We have no business being out here. Life in space is worthless, unworthy of living, and completely irrelevant to life on the planet. Many who attempt to settle a world without life that fits their own is void-born and must pay the tithes. What the fuck? One human asked. Space travel is reserved for the rich and the civilized. It is unnecessary and does not apply to life on the surface in any way. By putting resources into space, you are killing billions. It is a waste and utterly worthless, Nivek recited. Leaving your planet is reserved only for when you are ready. He looked out into space from his own ship hangar to see the primitive ramshackle human starship drifting in the gravitational pull of the local star. Hate to tell you, Robert said. You're in space. We were ready, Nivik growled. We have the edict of life. We made sure that we were ready after centuries of preparation, and none of us are void-born scum. You are cowards who refuse to focus on the here and now, and instead are running away to ruin another planet. He leaned down into Robert's face. You make me sick. You ran into space before you were ready. You weren't willing to be patient. You ruined everyone's lives by running away. You wouldn't allow nature to take its course. He expected the male to be awed, or at least cowed. Instead, he spat in Nivik's boots. I pity you. Nivik blinked. What? That's just planetary chauvinism you're talking. Nivik blinked again. What? You're so sad I pity you, Robert said. I can't imagine what world you live in. I can't imagine what your astronauts would think if they could see you now. Nivik smacked him again. You're only making things worse for yourself, heretic. Robert stood up again. There must have been people in your history who had the pride in astronauts. Rifles were leveled at him. Who saw the future was for the taking. And you mock them. The cost wasn't worth it, Nivik snapped. We had to be patient. You couldn't be. How dare you settle any world that isn't a life-bearing planet? How many died to get to your moon? I presume you have one. Robert glared. Gus, Ed, Roger, Vladimir, and Valentine. And it cost less to get to the moon than it cost to develop our atomic bomb. All worthless, Nivik spat. Worthless men fit only to die. Robert had to be held back this time. One of his compatriots demanded, How do you know when you're civilized enough? When scum like you are eradicated. Scum like you want people to go into space to find new worlds to ruin. You failed your children, Robert snapped. From what I hear, you had the chance to go out a lot earlier. Tell me, who was first into space for you? Who reached another planet body? Do you even know any of them? They were fools, Nivik growled. They were idiots who should have never left home. We had the guts to explore. We settled on space stations and moons, endless places no one has been. They admit their crimes, Nivik cried to the whole cargo bay. He looked at his fellows. You see why the young cannot be trusted. They climb out of the gravity well long before they are ready. They sit on wild worlds to escape their responsibilities. You think I don't understand you? Robert snarled. Nivik turned back to him. Believe me, we had people like you. They all say we're worthless, that we need to stay on the ground, and this is what they're saying. They dress it up as nicer than you. They say it's about resources. But every time they spit on the graves of everyone who went into space, and turned their backs on those with the courage to explore. Courage you never had. The man stiffened to a position of dignity. I can't imagine how much of your ancestors would weep to see you say this. But the eagle has landed, and you'll never take that away from us. When we proved all of you wrong, all of you chained to dust. When we proved there was something more important than a goddamn coal. Nivik shot him. Robert flew black. Kill the rest! Kill the heretics! End of story. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Caspar Arnholt, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.